This is the science of quality, and that's what numerology is all about. It's spirituality and matter. Where spirit meets matter is creation, right? And that's what this is about. We're understanding these elements that are esoteric in nature, but very, very tangible and very, very real and very applicable in our everyday life. In today's busy world, how can we find the inspiration, knowledge, and energy to live a healthy and empowered life? If we balance and harmonize our mind, exercise our body, live according to the laws of nature, and connect to spirit, can we find a way to heal, become our authentic self, and live our purpose with love? I am your hostess, Amy Moller, and welcome back to Awakening Aphrodite. Hey everybody, I know you're into holistic health and fitness and wellness because you're listening to this episode. And wouldn't it be great if your skincare also was produced by a company, by people, by human hands that also had a holistic mindset? Not only are the products made with the highest quality, biodynamic, organic, non-synthetic, natural ingredients, but they're actually made with the intention and frequency of love. And they use sound vibration and sound healing in formulation of their products. So I have my friend Hannah here because I love that she incorporates the feminine essence of life in the cultivation of her Seed and Solace products. Hannah, do you want to explain to us a little bit more how you incorporate the feminine?
The women that work in the argan fields of Morocco and the saffron fields of Iran, when they're all doing their job, they all start singing and clapping at the same time. And this creates a high vibrational frequency that affects the ingredients that essentially affect our blending when we're formulating in Upper Ojai. And this is what I call the love sound. It harmonizes the blends and it affects the way the products are blending together. Love has the highest form of frequency that our body actually recognizes. When the blends are ready and they're sitting for 30, 40 days, we make sure there goes through a series of different types of frequencies that are very close to our hearts and recognized by our heart's electromagnetic field. And this actually a lot of people can feel when they put on their skin because it's the love frequency combined with our skincare that you feel, and it resonates with your skin cells.
I mean, you're not going to find that at Walmart or CVS, okay? So thank you, Hannah. And I know you extended a discount code, FitAmyTV10 at checkout. People can even save 10%. So feel better, look better, save the planet, support a woman's business, my friend Hannah from Seed and Solace, and save a little money. What could be better? Welcome back to Awakening Aphrodite with Amy Moller. This show is about helping you to be healthy and fit in mind, body, and spirit, as well as harmonize your masculine and feminine energy, tap into your intuition, your true source of power, and awaken your authentic self. Today is a solo cast with just me, and I've been wanting to do this episode for a long time. I've been gathering up some information, and originally it was going to be a Fast Friday, which you might know we do as little extra bonus episodes that come out pretty much every other Friday, as little snippets of inspiration and education to help support you. Our normal episodes come out every Tuesday morning, but this grew into too long for a Fast Friday, so we're going to do it as a solo cast from just me, yours truly. Now, I'm going to be referring to different resources in this, as well as some of my own thoughts and studies and whatnot. So it's going to be kind of a mishmash of resources. One I'm going to refer to and make sure we get in the show notes as well is one of my favorite books called Inside Out, Revealing the Mysteries of Creation by the one and only Karen Elkins. Okay, so Inside Out is an amazing book. I love it so much. I actually have it as a coffee table book. It's so beautiful, the pictures. I'm also going to be referring to a book I believe I referred to before, a classic for me, Tarot, A Universal Language by Beatrex Quntanna. Okay, another classic book. Now, if you subscribe to this show, you know I'm all about tapping into oracles to help connect to the divine and our soul and communication and just really develop that holistic nature of our being, because we're not taught this stuff, right? Okay, we're lucky if we are in touch with our physical bodies, not to mention our etheric, esoteric soul, right? Crazy. Where are we going to learn this information? Well, for me, the Oracle of Tarot has been very, very helpful to help me establish a relationship with my own soul, to understand the divination, the direction, the guidance, the warnings, whatever that my soul is trying to communicate to me. It's been an invaluable resource. I've been practicing that for probably, about 3 years now. Crazy to think so. I'm actually going to be offering a course on that, I think, to help others do the same thing. It's been a really helpful, very inexpensive, very user-friendly tool to help establish a relationship with your soul. So for that matter, if you're interested in that kind of thing, hit me up, let me know, and I'll push that more to the front of my priority list to get that done for you. I'd love for it to be in person one day, that we have everybody get together and learn these things, but maybe we could do an online course. So super, super helpful. It's been one of my major tools in my toolbox. On that note, I have also come across the Mother Piece Round Tarot by Karen Vogel and Vicki Noble. I'm actually trying to get Vicki Noble on the show because this is something that, again, has really struck me so much and been so interesting. It is a tarot deck of cards and kind of school of thought. However, Vicki Noble has a very unique take on the tarot. And, well, you probably know that the tarot is centuries old. It transcends all cultures and races and religions and areas of the globe. But tarot decks have traditionally been square or rectangular, okay, very angular. I love that Vicki Noble and Karen Vogel created their own deck of tarot that is round, called the Mother Piece Tarot. So it's very feminine and it's very eclectic. It has all different races and religions. It's very inclusive. It's really quite beautiful. It's really unique, and wow, a lot of props to them. So I'm going to be referring to some material from them as well. Okay, so those are the three main things. And we're going to talk today about nature and numerology and the relationship, because one thing that I've learned in my studies is that all of life, all of nature, and all of spirituality, for that matter, all of the esoteric sciences are all based in math. Isn't this crazy? Yes. Think of Einstein and Newtonian physics and metaphysics and all this stuff that we've probably learned in school, at least some of it. It was all based in math. You probably have heard of the Pythagorean theorem and pi and the golden ratio and all this stuff. Math, geometry, sacred geometry. Okay, there's patterns in nature and numbers mean something. Okay, so we've also learned that numbers themselves, numerology, the number of things, as in how many of them, is not only symbolic, but the form itself is impactful, is significant, is important. Okay, so just like spelling and a letter and a word is going to make a difference between if you spell something one way or spell it another way, it's going to affect not only sometimes the sound, but also the effect or the meaning of the word. Same for numbers. There's a difference between 2 of something and 5 of something or 20 of something. Okay, we get into more of that with biogeometry, which is actually the science, the qualitative science of nature, and as opposed to the quantitative. Newtonian physics is the quantitative part of nature and life that we've learned about in school, but we never learned about the qualitative and how shape and number and sound and all of these things affect the outcome, affect life just as much as the more tangible quantitative things. I don't want to get off on that tangent, but all of this is kind of coming full circle with everything I've been studying in particular for the last probably about 8 or 10 years at this point. My biogeometry training has literally changed my life. And if you haven't heard episode, wow, I was so lucky to interview the one and only Dr. Ibrahim Karim, who's the founder of biogeometry. You've got to listen to that episode. He talks about the origin of life and the origin of the masculine and feminine, for that matter. I mean, this is stuff I absolutely promise you've never heard before. And right now, as we stand, when I'm recording this, it's the #1 episode on Awakening Aphrodite. And you got to listen to it. And it's episode number 148, The Origins of Life Force and Feminine Energy, like you've never heard them before, with Dr. Ibrahim Karim of Biogeometry. And depending on when you're listening to this today, he's also coming back on the show for a part 2 based on your popular demand, and his daughter, the one and only Dorea Karim. Wow, this woman is literally a genius, like literally a genius, okay? She's coming on the show too. So make sure you subscribe, because you're going to want to learn about all this amazing stuff to help open your mind, understand life better, and be more empowered and inspired. I love it. Okay, so today we're going to get into numerology and numbers, okay? Here we go. So, I'm going to go through numbers 1. Today we're going to talk about numbers 1 through 10. Okay, these are the base numbers. All right. So, or let me just back up. If we think of what is God, what is Great Spirit, we can think of God or Great Spirit or Source or Creator, Goddess, whatever you want to call it, as the 0, right? It's the 0-point field. So God, Source, Creator is 0, okay? Because infinite, right? It's everything. It's nothing, because once you put a numerological assignment to it, it's no longer everything. It limits it, okay? So the number 1 represents individuality, originality, uniqueness, and new beginnings. Okay, so one of something. So it'd be original, the first, individuality, like one person, one thing, uniqueness, and new beginnings. So 1 is the start of something. Another way to look at it is 1 is the womb of possibilities, the womb of all possibilities. So it's very, very exciting. Okay, now there's a front and a back to everything, like we know in Chinese medicine, right? The flip side. Okay, so the reversed one would be dependency as opposed to independency, and following the crowd. So if you've got a 1 energy backwards, if it's retrospect, if it's retrograde, then you might have a problem with dependency and just following the crowd rather than standing on your own 2 feet as an individual, as a 1, right? As a soul entity. So talking about codependent behavior, right? Fear-based, oh boy, I don't want to lose that person, so I'm going to control what I say or do, right? Okay, this is all a 1 problem issue. Now, we could also think of 1 as one in many. The Buddha said, if we could see the miracle of a single flower clearly, our whole life would change. A single flower. If we could see the miracle of just one flower, our whole life would change. From the 1 seed of all things, everything started from the 0 to the 1, right? From the 1 seed of all things, spring and vibrate into existence the 1 and the many. So before we have the many, we have the 1. Time renews all things. Time, like a circle, is where all points link, past, present, and future, revolving in the heavens. The cosmos is constantly changing, but in a measured way. That's what Hermes says. The binary system is interested in all that is created with only zeros and ones, kind of like the code for life. So from a single idea that just then self-replicates, just like a cell self-replicates, a perfect pattern emerges. And listen to this, that pattern is always the flower of life, or the flowers of life. So let's envision a cell in your mind. When you think of a cell, what shape is it? It's round, right? Did you get a circle in your head? Okay, so that's the 1. We got the 1 circle, the 1 cell. And then out of there, that single cell self-replicates. And that then divides into 2. Now, if you visualize the 2, what is the shape? The shape is a vesica Pisces. What's a vesica Pisces? It's two interlapped circles that crossed over, okay? And then from the 2 becomes the 3, and that's the tripod. And then the 4, the quadhedron, okay? So, but it all starts from the 1, the seed of life that turns into the flower of life, which we know the flower of life is the base pattern of all things. But it comes from the circle that goes to the vesica Pisces, the 2 circles, to the 3, to the 4, to the 5, and it keeps self-replicating into the flower of life, which is the pattern of all living things. Isn't that cool? All right, the 2. The number 2 represents duality. That's what this show is about. Awakening Aphrodite is about navigating, harmonizing that duality, the great polarities in life, the masculine and feminine essence, energy, feeling, being state that's in all of us. No, it's not a gender. It doesn't matter what your genitals are. That's not the point. It is not the point of this show. It's about having discretion and wisdom to know, because they're both in you. But which one is more active right now? Which one is dormant? Which one has been ignored? Maybe you need a little more masculine in your life. You need to get a little more discipline. Come on, pull up those bootstraps and get out there and do it. Or maybe you need more feminine in your life. Relax a little bit. Give yourself a break. Smell the roses. Get to bed. Watch a Netflix show that is stupid. Whatever. Okay? But this is the great duality that so many of us are dealing with right now. And we're trying to navigate intelligently. That's what the show is about. Hopefully I'm helping you do that. So the number 2 is about duality. It's the 2, okay, from the 1. And it's usually about working with the head and the heart. We want both of them to be in balance. We don't want to be all heart-based either, okay, because then you just kind of be mushy. You've got to also use your head and use discretion. Use your frontal cortex, your intellectual thinking, your cognitive thinking, your intelligence, your higher processing center, okay, your executive center. That's important. The problem is, like me, if you're like me, I should say, you might have been operating primarily, almost wholly from that frontal cortex and not enough from your soul, your heart, your gut, your intuition. Hopefully this show is helping you with that. So the reversed number 2 is being off balance, right? So that's what I'm saying, out of balance, imbalanced, okay? And it can also be indecisive, because so you're wishy-washy. You're kind of like a juggler, right? One or the other, you just keep juggling up in the air. You get the balls up in the air, but you never catch them. You never land. You never make a decision. Okay, pick one. You got to pick one. You can't keep juggling 2 balls forever, right? Sometimes you just got to draw that line in the sand. Remember, lines are masculine, circles are feminine. So when you draw that line in the sand, it's not just a saying. It's literally you're putting down a masculine energy. You're drawing that line like you're making a decision. And that can be hard to do for people who are too feminine. They're too much in their floaty, well, whatever. I don't want to have any limitations. I just want to do whatever, Okay, so number 2, the monad and the dyad are called the parents of numbers and are the source from which all numbers multiply. This also represents the coming together of the 2 forces in nature, force and motion, magnetism and electricity, north and south, light and dark, male and female, electron and proton, hot and cold, yin and yang. So we know it's when these 2 opposing forces, the polarities, come together that we have motion, we have evolution. With just one of them, nothing can happen. Nothing is produced. There's no reproduction with just one. You need 2 to have motion, forward motion, creation. Okay? That's when the masculine and the feminine come together. You have a baby, right? That's how we create. So not just esoterically or in essence and energetically, but also literally, figuratively to create. So the 2 is the duality, the line, the polarity, the choice, the receptivity. So here's a quote from Timothy Freck. Hence, all humans have a dual nature, immortal soul and a mortal body. The Holy Sacrament is reflected in the marriage of matter and spirit that creates the cosmos. The sacred bond of love unites man and woman together so they may share their essential qualities with each other. So the two opposing forces, right? Remember, it's about chemistry, attraction. If you visualize a magnet, is the two poles. What attracts them to each other is their differences. If they're two alike, they repel, right? Oppositions can attract. If you're like me and a very feminine woman, a very feminine female who likes being in her feminine, I am naturally attracted to a very masculine man, a very alpha man, a very strong man, a very stable man, a very self-assured man, a manly man, like a cowboy type. That's my type, okay? Now, don't get me wrong. He's going to have a big heart. But what I've found is usually the most manly men are the ones with the biggest teddy bear hearts. It's kind of funny how that goes together. I don't want to get off on that tangent. But I'm just trying to make a point that, and I'll just share with you too, personally, I'm not going to name names, but I was in a relationship once that started out great. Now, this might resonate with you. It started out great. And actually, first couple of years were great. Wow, I'll tell you, my feet didn't really touch the ground. I was a happy girl. And lo and behold, it started to evolve. Sure enough, I guess this person was meant to be in my life for a season, not a lifetime. And it started to change. And I started to find I wasn't as attracted to them anymore. Now remember, the first thing that happens in a relationship is the attraction stops, right? That's where the sexual energy starts to wane, and you don't really want to have sex anymore, and you're just not attracted to them, and you don't have that gust, that oomph, that gusto, that mojo, right? That's the number one red flag that'll start coming, and don't ignore it. And something you want to pay attention to. But what I'm getting at is what I found was I was being repelled because I found for me this person was being more feminine, okay? And I don't mean, it wasn't like he started wearing dresses or something. No. It's not about that. Remember, it's an essence. It's an energy. It's a way of being. He started being more wishy-washy. He started being more, whatever, just more lackadaisical, more, just wasn't, I don't want to say assertive, but just kind of not doing stuff. Like just taking initiative, doing stuff, making it happen, evolving, being interested in things. Now, don't get me wrong. We all have periods in life where, we're just going through a slump or whatever. That's not what I'm talking about. This is different. And you might know what I'm talking about, right? He just, he even stopped working out. So his body started to get a little more soft. And now I'm not someone who's superficial, but like I said, I like a manly man, like a strong guy. You don't have to be some kind of fit bodybuilder. Actually, don't really like that personally. It's not my thing. But sure, I'm not blind. I like somebody who at least tries to take care of their body and is in reasonable shape, So he actually just literally got less muscular, less masculine. And of course, that meant less testosterone for him, which again is a double-edged sword. It led to him being a more wishy-washy because he had less biochemistry, which is that go-get-em attitude testosterone will do in all of us, men and women, because remember, women have it too. It's that go-get-em, ass-kick-em, use your voice, stand up for it, make you really hungry, probably make you horny. It's all good stuff. Of course, too much is not good, but too much of anything is not good, right? Too much of a good thing is no longer a good thing. It's about having it in balance. Anyway, all these things diminished in him, and I found that less attractive. So these were all adding up to this is just why. So what happened in me, and the point of why I'm telling you this is I found that made me, we subconsciously want to balance out that masculine and feminine energy. So what that happened in me was it made me become more masculine, okay? Because he started going more feminine. So if you visualize a seesaw, if you're watching on YouTube, Awakening Aphrodite Podcast, Fit Amy TV on YouTube, then I'm showing you a seesaw, right? So as he got more feminine, I became more masculine to help balance that seesaw. Because if we were both feminine, It was going to repel, repel, repel. So, but here's the thing. You would say, well, geez, Amy, if you got more feminine, he got more masculine, you're saying opposites attract. Good point. I'm glad you brought that up. But I don't like being more masculine. This is the problem. I didn't like it. I didn't like feeling that way. Okay. It wasn't working for me. It went against my natural chemistry and deal breaker. So unfortunately to this day, we are not together any longer. We broke up because, and people always ask me why. You guys are so good together. And it was really hard, let me tell you, because he's a great person. He's a wonderful person. And I miss him. I won't lie. I miss him. I miss a lot of things about him. But at the end of the day, that was a deal breaker for me because I have to be true to my essence. And a lot of times we choose who we choose, whether they be friends or lovers or partners or whatever, because of how we feel when we're with them. We like who we are, right? It's like, okay, you ever hear the expression, someone brings out the best in me or you or whatever? It's a beautiful thing, okay? They see the best in you. They believe in you. You're a better person when you're around them. You can be yourself when you're around them. You like who you are when you're around them because you're being true to your soul. Aha, this is the key. So I basically just wasn't being myself. I just didn't like how I was feeling. I don't like feeling over masculinized. We broke up. So back to the show today. That's my little personal story on the number 2, the duality and the balance of the two polarities. Okay. Now, the other thing I wanted to share with you with number 2 and duality is, listen to this. It's super interesting. Okay. Origin of words. You know how important words are, right? Matter to pattern, mother to father. Matter to pattern, mother to father. Matter is the Latin word for mother, which gives rise to matter. So matter, M-A-T-E-R, 1 T, is the Latin word for mother, which gives rise to matter with 2 T's, as in like material, okay? Pater, P-A-T-E-R, is the Latin word for father, which evolves pattern with 2 P's, P-A-T-T-E-R-N. So the marriage of matter, M-A-T-E-R, 1 T, and patter, 1 T, P-A-T-E-R, creates form. The marriage of matter and patter create form. Because remember, 2 is creation, right? And then matter and pattern with 2 T's in each word are produced. Got it? So that's how all things are created. So did you know the origin of the word mother is matter, and they go together, and matter is material and father is pattern? Isn't that neat? I love that. All right, let's move on to number 3. 3 is a super important number. 3 is the number of the feminine, my friends. Creativity comes from the feminine side of the mind. Represents creativity, having fun, creativity, good self-esteem. 3rd chakra, baby. That's your solar plexus, right around your stomach area. How's that 3rd chakra going for you? So 3 is a synthesis of 1 and 2. A triangle. So visualize 3 sides of a triangle. It's 3, feminine, giving and receiving. So reverse 3 is ego investment. And that's back to our 3rd chakra issue. That's your ego, your self-esteem. Could also be a creative block and poor self-esteem. So keep in mind as I read for you these 10 numbers and their nature equivalents and expressions, what number is your favorite number? And then we can also go into numerology, as in when you reduce your birth number, when you take the birth month plus your birth date plus your birth year, so you're going to have 2, 4. So birth month is 2 numbers. Birth date is a maximum of 2 numbers. Birth year is 4 numbers. So you add up those 8 numbers into one single number, take the summation of all of them. That's your birth number. Okay, you get that? So If your birthday, let's just say, is February, that's 02, so you've got 2. And then your let's just say the day of the week, your birthday is February 2nd, so that's 0202, so now you've got 4. And let's just say for ease, your birth year is the year 2000, then 2000. So 2 plus 0, 0, 0 is 2, so 4 plus 2 is 6. So you would be a 6, okay? This is actually important. I probably should remember. I should have mentioned this in the beginning. Sorry about that. Like I said at the beginning of the show, I'm just kind of winging it today because I've put together all this stuff and I just wanted to get it out there for you. And hopefully some stuff will stick, make a little bit of sense. So everybody is a number, okay? And this is we can go really deep with this as it lines up with astrology and all that stuff. But if you add together your birth month, your birth date, and your birth year, summate it into one number. And let's just say you get 11. We'll add those 2. 1 and 1 is 2. Okay, so you're still going to get something between 1 and 9. All right? So I happen to be a 9. My birth date adds up to a 9. Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. So let's just say yours might have added up to a 3. So your number is 3. So you want to notice in your life when 3 comes up, like let's just say I'm looking for a house, right? You probably know that if you subscribe to my show. Let's just say my realtor sends me a house that's 3 Birch Lane. I'll be like, oh crap, I'm a 3 Birch Lane. I'm taking a look at that house. So the universe is giving me a 3. Okay, you following me? So something of that nature, like, I don't know, whatever. Just that number 3. Or I met someone the other day and their phone number had like, I think I told you I'm a 9, right? I'm a 9. Their number had like 4 9s in it. Like, it's like 699, 2799 or whatever, right? 4 9s. Like, that's kind of unusual. I was like, oh crap, something's going on here. Like, we're connected. I'm calling you. Like, something, who knows? Season, a reason, a lifetime. I don't know, but somehow we're supposed to connect. The 9. So I have always in the back of my mind, I am a 9. So when 9s come up, I pay attention. All right. So that might help you. So also pay attention as I'm reading what's associated with each number, what is associated with your number. So 1 is individuality, originality, uniqueness. 2 is duality, working head and heart, balancing both. 3 is creativity, having fun, being creative, good self-esteem. All right. So, and then we're going up to 9 today, okay? All right. So 3 is the portal for light and life. Okay? 3 is key because here are the 3 things in nature. Liquids, solids, and gases, they go together. Light, energy, and mass. Length, width, and height. Past, present, and future. The Trinity in religions, right? If you were raised Judo-Christian, the Trinity, right? Father, Son, Holy Ghost. We won't get into where's the feminine in that. I won't get sidetracked there. Okay. 2 magnetic currents and a neutral center. So there's 3 there. And the 3 primary colors from which all colors are made. What are the 3 primary colors? Red, blue, and green. All colors are made from the 3. So 3 is very powerful. It's the creative source. Love it. Interesting stuff, right? All right. Are you a 4? The 4 is symbolic of a system. Okay, it's a structure. It's 4, like 4 corners. It's solid as a foundation. So a system for success. In tarot, the 4 is the emperor. Okay, so like it's like, and again, this is not a gender thing. Like I can pull a 4 card and it means, okay, I'm working on my business today. So 4 is also symbolic of logical, being logical, looking at the world in a logical way. It's also about how to develop a plan for success. 4 is stability, a square. Visualize that square, defining boundaries and limitations. Again, structure and form. So if you have a reversed 4, illogical, unstructured, ungrounded, okay? So it could be a 4 problem. So to me, 4 is very, very masculine. Again, it's a beautiful thing. It's necessary. Without structure, boundaries, foundation, you're a mess, right? You're just kind of like water all over the place. The feminine needs a container. This is very important, okay? This is why a woman that's really in her feminine essence really needs a solid partner. And this could be another girl. It doesn't matter. Just needs someone who's super stable, kind of like a rock, very grounded, to give her a safe container so she can bounce against those edges and feel safe. The feminine needs to feel safe in order to flower. We talk about that a lot in my show. Very, very important. And by the way, if you're interested in that kind of thing, definitely check out my episode number 2 with Amy Moller. We talk about women and finances, because finances is a masculine thing. It's that security, that safety. If you don't have your money game dialed in, you can't pay your bills, you're going to be a total stress ball, and there's no way you're going to be able to tap into your feminine flow. All right? So we need that stability. Check out that episode with Amy Moller, her second appearance. It's somewhere around, I think maybe 174, 175, somewhere around there. All right. So number 4, the 4 elements. Oh, this is huge. The 4 elements. I thank them every morning in my morning prayers. Foundation, manifestation, the building blocks for life. The 4 elements, 4 states of matter, 4 forces of nature, 4 seasons, flow from the pyramid to the cube from the matter. So 4 is the number that gives shape to matter. The cube or the square is also the icon for Earth and is where we square off. 4 is also prevalent in major world religions, in Hindu, Buddhist, and Islamic religions alike. The mandala is symbolic of the fourfold nature of the self. It is a journey through the 4 elements that are comprised of sense, emotion, thought, and intuition. 4. Humans have a destiny to gain mastery over our elemental nature. Solid, which is earth, liquid, which is water, gas, which is air, and plasma, which is fire. And I'll add that in those 4 elements, solid earth is considered feminine, right? That's why we say Mother Earth. Liquid, water, is also considered feminine. Water is a feminine element. Gas or air is considered masculine. Okay, air is a masculine element. And plasma, also fire, is a masculine element. Okay, so earth, solid, being feminine, is indicative in tarot of the coins of matter. Liquid, water, that feminine, is represented in tarot as a cup. Gas and air is the masculine, which in tarot is represented as swords. Air, the mind, the mental component. Because swords cut things, right? They're decisive. Your mind cuts things apart. And lastly, plasma, fire, is the masculine, and that is represented in tarot as wands. Because wands change things. They transform things. Think of a magic wand. Like, alakazam, with my wand, and I transform you into a rabbit. Okay, that fire element is transformative. The phoenix rising from the fire. That's a very masculine element. So, in Ayurvedic medicine, these are referred to as your doshas. Okay, the 4 beasts are also associated with the zodiac and the vision of the prophet Ezekiel, who also lived in Babylon. Consider that astrology is in every single culture, and its characteristics are inherent in nature. Okay? Astrology, for that matter, is the basis for all of science, all of our math, everything. There's a difference between reading your astrological forecast in the back of a newspaper or whatever and true astrology. Okay? It's something that the ancients knew they were connected to the stars and the planets, and they knew that the zodiac, I mean, the pyramids are aligned to Sirius, okay, the Stargate Sirius, and at certain times of the year when the moon and the sun line up, it hits the magnetic frequency and just in a certain way, and the energy is exacerbated inside the pyramid, and that's when they did their rituals. And I mean, they knew the power to tap into the collective of astrology and astronomy. Very powerful stuff. So don't think it's just like poo-poo, fairy tale, woo-woo stuff. Thank God we're going back to the basics to learn these things again. So 4 fixed signs in the zodiac. 4. There's 4 main fixed signs. Aquarius as the winged human, winter, air, gas. Taurus as the ox, the bull, spring, earth, solid. Leo as the lion, summer, fire, plasma. And Scorpio as the eagle, fall, water, liquid. Those 4 astrological signs in the zodiac are fixed. They're actually at the corner of the final tarot major arcana card, the world card, 21. They're in the 4 corners because they're fixed. So Aquarius, Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio. All right, going on to number 5. 5 represents change, variety, expansion, and the human. So the 5, like if you visualize your hand, right? 5 fingers. 5 represents human or change. Sometimes it can be trouble. Like if you draw a 5 something card, it means, oh boy, stuff's going on here. Lots of chaos sometimes. Okay, so the reversed 5 can be stuckness. Okay, you're stuck. You might be dealing with a 5 issue. So 5 can be unfolding nature. So Richard Merrick says, for some unexplained reason, fish, reptiles, amphibians, birds, mammals, and even dinosaurs all ended up with the same basic skeletal structure consisting of a wave-like spine, carotid-shaped rib cage, single head, and 4 limbs. While natural selection does imbue each of these creatures with particular anatomical variation or morphology, this basic 5-fold archetype is one and only internal skeletal template that emerged as life evolved in and out of the sea. So all from the same template of 5. Isn't that incredible? The 5-sided pentagram are at the ratio of 1.618, which is also known as pi. The pentagram is also considered the supreme symbol of life, the 5. It's also involved with the golden ratio. We also have the 5 platonic solids. The 5 platonic solids create all forms and structures in nature. The 5th platonic solid is the dodecahedron, which relates to the aether. Aether is the womb, the waters of creation, and the woman generates life from the waters in her womb. In music, the 5th is the interval found in sacred music, as it harmonizes well with the human body. This is the pentacle of the Gregorian chants. You probably have heard of the Gregorian chants. Aha. So nature's geometry shows how 5 is a number for regeneration. Looking at a Romanesco broccoli, you can see the pentagrammal clustering. This is the rhythm of which vegetables grow, with a 5-fold rhythm from the inside out. All right, now let's get to the 6. 6 is love, health, relationships, home, and service. The 6 in tarot is the lover's card. Okay, that masculine and feminine coming together. So love, relationships. The reverse of the 6 is lack of commitment, being taken advantage of. 6 also represents reaching a peak, events taking place quickly, a perfect moment. In the fire, life begins spontaneously erupting again and again. Its hexagonal shape has a conductive design. Its sparks bring life from the unseen into the light. Constructing colonies where we work like bees, often nestled by the sea, We build our own structures, mimicking nature's design, building, maintaining, and recycling with time. The hexagon, which is the 6, is a conductive design with electromagnetic or piezoelectric properties. The hexagon shape is central to electrical structures that transmit the impulse of life. Carbon is the framework that works the circuits. As Dr. Bruce Lipton suggests, he's the one that the pioneer in biology of belief, how our mind and body are connected. He explains that the conductivity of DNA and its ability to send and receive signals is key. This structure is replicated in the snowflake, which is 6-sided, by the way. So, something called a Merkabah is an esoteric symbol of the Egyptians that represents the light body. Mer represents light. Ka is a word for spirit, and Ba is the word for body. So Mer, light, Ka, spirit, Ba, body. So Merkabah is light, spirit, body. It's also the throne or chariot mentioned in the Bible, the Star of David in the Jewish tradition, and the yantra of the East. This understanding seems to be universal and transcends dogma, science to stage. So if you visualize the Star of David is what I'm getting at. That's the 6-pointed star. Okay? See how it all comes together? All right, 7. 7 represents lessons in time. Oh boy, it's a big one. It's a complete cycle. It's the amount of time required for evolution of consciousness. So a lot of times in psychology and evolutionary psychology, we learn about life in phases of 7 years, 7-year phases, right? So like in chakras, there's ages 0 to 7 is a period, a section of time, a stage of time. Then we go to the second phase, which is the period of 8 to 15, and then from 16 to 21 or whatever it is. So there's stages in 7, like that, like the expression you might have heard of, the 7-year itch, right? So humans have always known that we go through stages of 7-year cycles of 7. So it's considered a complete cycle. So, leaving to look at the big picture, not getting stuck in details. Okay? It's the time required for a complete cycle of evolution of consciousness to happen. 7 also represents diversity in ideas, emotions, people, sorting out, inner reflection. A reverse 7 is obsession. So obsessive compulsive thoughts and behavior and over analysis. So this is really funny because I'll just throw in that my favorite number my whole life has always been 7. Although in my birthday I'm numerologically a 9, like I explained earlier in the show how to get your number. I've always, in all the sports teams, everything I played on, 777. It's always been my favorite number. And yup, I can certainly be guilty of overanalysis, hence awakening Aphrodite, right? Overthinking, thinking too much, overanalyzing, analysis by paralysis. That's why I got this show going, to help teach myself to balance it out with more embodying, more feeling, more being. So I know my 7 is stuck when I'm overanalyzing and I'm too much in my head. So 7 celestial bodies, 7 main glands in the body, 7 colors of the rainbow, 7 parts to the retina of your eye, 7 numbers on the musical scale, 7 parts to the inner ear. Did you know that? 7 cavities of the heart, 7 main chakras, 7 parts to an embryo, 7 stages of mitosis, 7 layers of skin, 7 days of the week. Can you think of any as I'm reading this list? 7 days of creation in the Bible, 7 stages of alchemy, 7-fold nature of crystals, and 7 seas. The Sophia Wisdom, 7 days of creation, 7 heaven. The hypothesis of a multiverse within the construct of a 7-layer universe, 7 colors of the rainbow, seems very plausible. Ancient philosophy included the 7 heavens, the 7 gates, the 7 logos, the 7 stages. Qualities of atoms are found in different states of matter depending on the physical condition, such as temperature and pressure. By varying these conditions, materials can transition between solids, liquids, gases, and plasma. Cool stuff, huh? All right, we're getting there. Now let's get into the 8. 8 is big. It is representative of money, power, manifestation. So it's the matter, okay? 8 is a manifestation number. It's also activity, pursuing goals, gathering resources. So it's matter, okay? So if I draw an 8 of coins one day, I think, oh, wow, I might get my house today, okay? Because coins is matter and earth, and 8 is manifestation. So 8 in reverse, oh boy, fear of failure or fear of success, which is the flip side of itself, right? Not knowing what you want is a reversed 8. Okay, so consider that your every move is like a chess game, as each play has a cause and effect. Your life is nothing but a series of calculated maneuvers. Some people are master gamesmen, others become a simple pawn in another's game. Being on your game is important if you want to be your own master. The choices you make, the web you weave, the challenges you take, calibrate the settings and the switches, a new equation for life. The possible combinations of charted courses and experiences are staggering. Perhaps we are to cycle and navigate the full wheel of fortune. Maybe this is the university of life. The Asian culture believes that the number 8 is symbolic of good fortune in life. In the precession of the periodic table, 8 is the shell that creates the stable structure. Particles also group in clusters of 8. The 8-legged spider is the master weaver. The Native Americans believe that as we weave, so do we weave the fate of the universe. And I'll just add a little side note. You know my puppy's name is Penelope, right? I have 2 puppies. Actually, Nico's birthday is June 14th. He's going to be 1 year, my beautiful little boy. And my little girl, Penelope, is, well, she's probably about 7 months now. But her name, Penelope, you know what that means? It's got Greek origins, and it means the weaver. So Penelope is associated with the number 8, apparently. I did not know that, but now I know. So Albert Einstein said, as I have said so many times, God doesn't play dice with the world. Aha. Thank you, Albert. All right. 2 more. Number 9. I'm a 9. Your girl Amy's a 9. Spiritual ascent is the number 9. Talk to the universe. Look to see where you can shine your light. Oh boy. 9 is the culmination, a ripening of what has preceded 1 through 8. So this one's a tricky one to conceive of, but think of it this way. Why is 9 a culmination? It's considered like the end. So in the tarot, the 9, depending on the deck you look at, is the wise one, the wise elder, the crone, the sage, okay? It's Hecate, it's Vestia in the goddesses. So why would 9 be the end and not 10? We think of 10 as the end of the cycle, but no, 9 is the whole. It's holistic. So doesn't this kind of make sense that me, your girl Amy, I'm a 9, right? Because I'm holistic. That's what I've always been about, the big picture and pulling it all together and all of it, including all of it. And gosh, I like to think I'm getting wiser as I get older. Don't we all aspire to that? I would think so, right? But I guess that's my challenge. I'm trying to get older as I get, trying to get wiser as I get older. But the 9 is considered culmination because it's the end of the cycle. Because if you think of walking up a staircase, when you get to the 9th step, the 10th step is the beginning of the new one. Okay, so 9 is the end, it's the completion. So the hermit or the sage or the wise one, the crone, And the 9 is Tarot's soul-searching and introspection card. So we can't know how to shine our individual, unique, wise light in the world unless we know ourselves. So to do that requires introspection. That's where the Hermit comes in. Don't be afraid of the 9. You need alone time. You need to individuate in order to tap into your unique soul gift, your soul's imprint, what your soul uniquely came here to do. Without that piece of the jigsaw puzzle, the world would be forever missing if you didn't shine that light. That is your special gift. But you can't know what that gift is if you're running around listening to everybody else. What this doctor said and what that TV program said and your sister's girlfriend's pet's friend said. It's about getting clear from you, what you and your soul is telling you is your unique self. That's what you got to get clear on. That's what the introspection comes in with the 9. And that's why 9 is associated with being a hermit. Not because the 9 likes to be alone, but because that's required in order to get clear with yourself and your soul. You establish that relationship with yourself first, crystal clear, before you can then go to the 2, go to the other, go to the 6, go to the harmony, the relationship with others. So, we know there's 9 fruits of the Spirit. I actually have this printed on tape to my computer. Do you know what they are? 9 fruits of the Spirit. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. 9 fruits of the Spirit. That's something you can meditate on every morning. Or maybe you can take 9 days and work on 1 a day or whatever. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness. So that's also compassion, right? And self-control. So 9 is divine completeness. Remember I said it's the completion, the whole. Okay, the whole as in W-H-O-L-E. 9 is the spiritual node. According to the work of Richard Merrick, 9 is the supertonic tone, and he refers to it as the harmonic center because all of the other harmonics appear to oscillate or orbit around this frequency. Cool, right? 9 is also the trinity of 3. Okay, so this is huge. This is really, really big. Remember how I said all of science, all of life is based in mathematics? There's a pattern in all of it. Well, and even like Nicholas Tesla, who had all those amazing inventions with electricity and power, he talked about the 369 theory. Okay, super interesting stuff. But 9 is the trinity of the 3. So from 3, life begins to form. From 6, life begins to have a charge. From the node and the tone of 9, your body has the capacity to find bliss. In the beginning, there was only the vast and the quiet, endless world of ocean. These gods in their 9-fold manifestation, out of which emerged Shu and Tefnut, these had Pataf devised them, the seeing eyes, the hearing ears, the breathing nostrils, reporting everything to the heart. Ptah had devised the whole world in his heart, and thus it was. That comes from the wisdom of the pharaohs. So model 9, repeating patterns of 9. So 9 is the coolest number because 9 is indivisible into itself, the 3 of 3s. It's really, really cool the more you study about 9. All right, and the last thing I want to share with you today is the 10. The number 10 represents new beginnings, because remember what I said, 9 is completion, is the whole. Well, 10 represents new beginnings. These new beginnings set you up for the future. 10 contains all the energy of the previous numbers and beginning again. The 1 and the 0, the group. Okay? So, in reverse, the 10 can be not willing to complete a process. Oh boy. Yep, it's like not getting closure. Sound familiar? So remember, these numbers are showing us the energy patterns. They show the way in and the way out of a situation. Something to keep in mind, okay? Understanding numbers. Like there's a difference between, 5 flowers in a row, or 2 cups on a table, or 10 trees in a yard. Okay, numbers mean something. They speak to our subconscious, whether we like it or not. Okay, advertisers know this all the time. When they show like a trinity, 3 things or 2 things paired together, right? Because like it or not, it's speaking to our DNA, a subconscious language that it's inferring, it's implying something is associated with whatever it is that they're trying to communicate to you. All right? So there's a conscious choice of if they use 9 things or 4 things or 3 things or whatever. So we can use numbers to our benefit. We want to bring something more in art. Like I'll just say, when I'm doing art, I might draw 9 swords, or I might draw 2 flowers, or 1 dog, or 10 dogs, or whatever, because I'm bringing a different quality, a different essence. So this is the science of quality, and that's what numerology is all about. It's spirituality and matter, where spirit meets matter is creation, right? And that's what this is about. We're understanding these elements that are esoteric in nature, but very, very tangible and very, very real and very applicable in our everyday life. I hope this is helping you. So 10 is those new beginnings, and reverse is not willing to complete the process. 10 contains all the energy of the previous numbers and helps us begin again. Well, I hope this helps you, my friend. This has been a really fun show for me to bring to you. I'll share with you that these type of episodes are really the reason why I started the whole podcast years ago, because I love this stuff. I don't know why we're not taught this in school. So I'm just going to make my own school and I'm going to help bring it to you, to help increase your awareness, to help empower you. Because I find like it's really cool, isn't it? To think like, wow, I can apply this stuff to my life and see what works to help myself. Did you find it helpful? Let me know. Please share the show with a friend that you think it might help. And if you want to help me, the best way to do so is to leave a review. It's not hard to do, and it really helps my show, and I really appreciate it. You can also check out all my personal favorite products on my website e-store. They've got coupon codes there that help you save some money and help support a lot of the companies that I think are amazing and I believe in. They all have like-minded values and are aligned with our mission. So we like supporting each other, right? I love you guys. Please subscribe, share the show, and I'll see you next time on Awakening Aphrodite. Would you like to support my mission to help empower people all over the world to be all of who they truly are? If so, please subscribe to the show, leave a review on iTunes, and share it with a friend. And if you're looking to take immediate action to align your energy and optimize your health, visit amyfournier.com. Thanks for listening to Awakening Aphrodite. Let's awaken her together in you. I'm your hostess, Amy Fournier, and I already can't wait to be with you again and for you to hear what I have planned for the next show.
Thanks for listening to Awakening Aphrodite with Amy Fournier. To learn more about Amy, check out her website, amyfournier.com. That's AMYFOURNIER